Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to How Search, Social, and Mobile Have Changed How Buyers Buy and What Your Business Must Do About It. If that sounds like the presentation that you were intending to see, then you're in the right place. And thank you very much for joining me. We'll get started here in just a handful of minutes. We still got a number of people joining in, so I want to give everybody a chance to get settled in. So now's a great time if you need to finish up any last minute emails, phone calls, run to the restroom, things like that. Perfect time to do it, and we'll get started here in just another few minutes. Thank you. Hi again. Just want to say welcome to all of the people who are signing in here since my last announcement. You are at How Search, Social, and Mobile Have Changed How Buyers Buy and What Your Business Must Do About It. So if that's the presentation you were expecting, you're in the right place. And we're going to get started here in just one more minute. Thank you. Okay, everyone, let's get going. Thank you again for joining me. A couple of logistics here before we really get rolling in the content. One, just to let you know, I'm not going to stop during the presentation to answer questions just because I've got a lot of content to cover and I want to make sure I get through it all in our allowed time here today. But if you have any questions, there is a question box that you will see here below the presentation that you can type any questions that you have, and that will make it to me and my team, and I'll answer as many of those as I can at the end here. If for some reason I don't get to your question, we will respond to you personally in the next 24 to 48 hours. Okay? The other thing is on the lower right-hand corner of this presentation, if you hover your mouse over the actual presentation, on that lower right-hand corner, you'll see a little box appear, and you can click on that to expand the presentation into full screen mode if you'd like to, and you can just hit escape to exit full screen mode at any time. All right, well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time and attention for joining me here today. We've got a lot of great content, so I'm going to get going here and, like I said, make sure that we make the most of our time together here and get you back to work. So the topic of today's presentation is how search, social, and mobile have changed how buyers buy and what your business must do about it. Now, you may be wondering, who am I and what do I do? Why am I, speaking on this topic? Well, my background is in marketing and in technology and in helping small businesses in particular leverage both direct marketing principles and fundamentals as well as technology to get maximum growth results for their companies and their businesses, and help them add income to their bottom line. And again, I particularly focus on smaller companies, and I found that marriage of direct response marketing and the leverage of effectively using technology is a very, very powerful combination for those businesses to get the most bang for their buck. So to me, it's really all about how do I take my clients to a new level of growth by applying those marketing fundamentals and that leverage from technology. All right, today's presentation, I want you to get three main things. One, how search, social, and mobile are impacting the buying habits and expectations of your customers. Second is the impact that this is having on your business, whether you realize it or not. And then three, what you need to do at your business to make sure that you're taking advantage of these changes and not being left behind in the marketplace, because the competitive landscape has changed dramatically in the last 10 years. And what I'm seeing in the hundreds of clients that I'm working with out there in the marketplace is that there are businesses that really seem to get it and are changing with the marketplace, and then there are businesses that are remaining kind of stuck in their old ways, stuck with the status quo. And in the last couple of years in particular, I'm really starting to see the impact of that difference in those businesses on their revenue and on their income. The businesses that are adapting and are changing with the marketplace are really starting to pull ahead of those that are being a little bit more stubborn and stuck in their ways. So in this presentation, my hope is to, as I said, make you aware of these changes, how it's impacting those buyer habits, and how it's impacting your business and what you need to do about it. So these changes, as we said, have changed the way that customers find and shop for your products or services, no matter what kind of business you're in. And I think back to the early days of e-commerce and buying online, say 10 years ago or so, it was pretty obvious to see the way that somebody like Amazon was going to change the way that people shopped for certain types of products. Right? The things that you would normally buy maybe at Walmart, now you can buy on Amazon, or that you'd buy at the mall, maybe you can buy on Amazon. But this has also impacted just about every type of industry out there. I mean, on the upper left here, you see a logo for Angie's List, which, if you're not familiar, Angie's List is a company that went through massive fast growth, went public at over $1 billion market cap. And what they do is they help people find services for their home more effectively, right? So repairmen, plumbers, things like that. On the lower left, you have a company called ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a company that is making it much more, much easier, as well as just more visible in how you go about, finding medical services, right? Finding a highly reviewed or highly rated doctor for a particular condition or a particular type of doctor that you're looking for. And then over here on the bottom right, you see Yelp, which I imagine just about all of you are probably familiar with Yelp. Yelp has really had an impact on particularly retail types of businesses, such as restaurants and bars and even dry cleaners and things like that, salons. Certainly, those types of businesses. Yelp has had a massive impact, particularly in more urban areas, but really they've grown to be a pretty darn large company. And the feedback and the information that's found on Yelp can really change the direction of a retail business overnight, either positively or negatively, because of the influence that Yelp has with such a large community now. So every type of industry is being impacted, and the buying behaviors of customers are all being impacted across just about every industry that you can imagine. So what's driving this dramatic change? Well, it's three main factors, three main drivers of this change: search, social, and mobile. Okay, all terms that I'm sure you're familiar with to one degree or another, that are having an amazing impact on how people find information about products and services and then make a decision to buy those products or services. So search, we're all familiar with, right? And it's amazing to think how much of a part of our lives the search engines have become when, just 15 years ago they didn't exist. But search is local, it's easy, and it's everywhere. Okay, and I say it's local because a huge percentage of the searches that are happening now online are local in nature. It's people looking for products, services, and businesses within 5 or 10 miles of where they're currently at, right? And that has a lot to do with the power of the mobile phones and these, mobile devices that have become really, full-fledged computers in our hands, right? So search is everywhere. I mean, it used to be just in the search engines. Now it's on your phone. It's on your tablet. It's inside of Facebook. It's all over the place. So it really has become a major driver in how we find information and how we decide, to purchase one product or service over another. In fact, 70% of consumers search reviews or ratings about products and services before purchasing. Okay, 70% of consumers. 92% of consumers have more confidence in information found online than they do in anything from a sales clerk or other source. So people actually trust the information that they find, oftentimes from complete strangers online, more than they do from your salespeople. Largely, I think, because they don't feel like they're being sold to, right? This is somebody who bought your products or services and they think has an honest review of those products or services. And as I mentioned before, local search volume is growing exponentially, right? We're talking by 50% or more every year. And now Google says that 43% of all searches are local in nature. And look at these numbers from 2008 to 2011. We've gone from 1 billion local searches a month to 3.45 billion local searches a month. So I stress this because no matter what business you're in, if you sell to local customers, they are using the search engines to learn about your business and make a decision about your business. All right, so let's turn to social now. Social media has grown by 712% since 2005. Okay, it's been amazing how fast the growth, right? I mean, again, just a handful of years ago, Facebook, Twitter, things like this, Pinterest didn't even exist, and now the numbers on how many people are a part of the social media communities and how much time they spend on those sites is just amazing. And it's not just kids. There's this idea early on in social media. Well, it's all just the young kids kind of getting on there and flirting and playing games and stuff like that, right? 66% of adult internet users use social media today, and that number is actually growing quite quickly. When you look at the demographic information on Facebook, the fastest growing groups on Facebook are actually older people. Okay, so it's not just kids, it's every type of demographic, including your customers, no matter who your customers are. Okay, now the other amazing thing that's happened with social is that consumers, your customers, are now also publishers. Okay, you cannot have 100% control of your message anymore. Your message about your brand and your products and your services. It's now in the hands of the public. Consumers are able to publish their opinion